Hello everybody, we're here at RemoteCon with yet another very interesting product demo on remote work tools. Here with us now we have Webinarninja. This is a tool for doing powerful webinars for teaching and coaching. Webinarninja is an all-in-one webinar platform that does the work for you. It allows you to host, share and attend webinars with no worries. The product is focused on ease of use and the conversation center software makes it easy to teach, market and sell. It's optimized for results but simplified for the user. Webinarninja lets the host focus on the presentation, not the software. It includes built-in landing pages, email sequences, and slide templates. It was founded in 2014 in Australia by Omar Zenhom and Nicole Baldinu, and they have a team spread around 9 cities around the world with headquarters in Sydney. Omar and his partner Nicole used their years of education experience to develop software and training resources for webinars. Omar also hosts the $100 MBA show, which is a top-ranked podcast with over 50,000 downloads per day. For our demo here today, we have Omar, co-founder and CEO of Webinarninja. Hello, Omar. Very nice to have you here.
It's great to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
You are highly rated all over the review platforms and seem to be very appreciated by all the users. What do you think is your secret sauce and how are you doing compared to maybe other communication platforms?
I think the number one thing that people say about Webinarninja that differentiates us is that we're very easy to use. One of the things that we want to do early on is make sure that webinars are not intimidating. Most people, when they hear the word webinars, they're kind of like, oh man, there's a lot of work, a lot of technical things I'm gonna have to worry about. What if it crashes? What if it does this? What if it does that? And that really bothered me because as a former educator, I feel like webinars are really powerful. And you really should just be focused on the content of your webinar, really what you're teaching and what you're presenting, and not the tech. And that's really what we've set out to do and accomplish. And that's really what people really love about Webinarninja is that they don't have to really worry about the software. They can just focus on the presentation.
That's actually a worry to take off my head. I would very much enjoy. Can you actually show us a bit through the platform and show us how it works?
Sure. Let me share my screen and then I'll go through some of the highlights. So we created Webinarninja back in 2014, like you mentioned, but it's been through a lot of iterations. This is our latest version, Webinarninja 6. It's actually a demo that we haven't actually shown publicly yet, but you guys are getting a first look because it's going to actually be out by the time this is all going to be presented. So this is our My Webinars page. This is where everything is laid out with all your webinars, your upcoming webinars, your past webinars, and it's just nice and easy to see what's on your schedule, and also just the different types of webinars, all kinds of things like that. But we're going to create a webinar together just to show you how easy it is. Now, one of the things that we love about Webinarninja is that it's an all-in-one solution. Many people will buy like a webinar software and they'll say, "Oh man, I gotta be able to buy landing page software and email marketing software and replay software and video hosting and all that kind of stuff." And they have to worry about all these other pieces to the puzzle. But with Webinarninja, we're gonna create a webinar from A to Z and you'll see how everything is included. And as you can see, when I start creating webinars, I have the option to create all kinds of webinars. So I don't only have the ability to do live webinars, but I could do automated webinars, I could do series webinars, I could do hybrid. Without buying all different pieces of software. So just a quick glimpse of the differences. So live is just a live session, one date, one time. You can run an automated webinar, which could also be like an on-demand webinar, which is like a watch now webinar, or you can actually offer both. And you can either upload your own video from your computer, or you can go from a past recording like a replay, or you can use our YouTube integration if you like. If you have like a YouTube video that you want to use for your automated webinar. A series webinar is a webinar which people register and they are registered to a series of dates and times. So a lot of conferences use this, online courses, they do a live online course, and you can actually mix and match and do like a live webinar or a recorded one. And you can either do them all live, all recorded, or mix them up. And hybrid is a very popular type of webinar with a lot of our software companies that are our clients. They have a set demo and it's a recorded video. They pop in that recorded video, but they're live in the chat and the questions and the polls, and sometimes their support team kind of just takes care of that. But let's just create a live webinar together. I want to show you how easy it is. So let's say, for example, I'm a basketball coach. So let's say how to improve your jump shot, okay? And I can add a co-host if I like, if I wanted to. to join me on the webinar. And as soon as I add their name and email, they automatically get an email so that you don't have to do this externally, and they get invited to the webinar. They know how to join. And then you just set a date and time. For example, let's do the 1st of July, and I'm going to do this, say, at 4 p.m. for 1 hour. And every webinar can be either free or paid. We have a Stripe integration, so you can actually charge for your webinars if you want, but I'm just going to make this free. And as soon as I hit create webinar, this is where everything is done in the background for Webinarninja. Most other softwares, you're going to have to go through like another 9 steps to create a webinar, but now everything is done with Webinarninja. Your registration page is created, your thank you page, your webinar page, your replays, all your email notifications. They're all done. And what's great about Webinarninja is that I can go ahead and, if I want to, I can edit and change and improve any of these pages if I want, or any of these assets, so that I can just go live with all my branding and logos and colors and images. And so we actually have a landing page software built in, or I can change and modify and do all that kind of stuff. And what's great about Webinarninja is that we use these short tags, so that way, no matter what the name of the webinar is, or the time or the date, we will populate it. The reason why we do this, because if I preview this, it'll actually show the actual webinar title, is that way you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Once you create your registration page, you can just save it as default. And then the next time you create a webinar, it just populates it with all the unique information. So I can do that here and I hit save, or I can even save it to my media library. So I can have like all my different templates saved there, so I can just load it up at any time and just give it a name and it's all set to go. So we're really big fans of saving you time and saving you money, so you don't have to use all different pieces of software to kind of make it all happen. This is a software in itself, just landing pages, but we've included it inside of Webinarninja. But also email notifications, people that have email notifications sent out, so confirmation emails, reminder emails, all that is built inside of Webinarninja, so that you don't have to do that yourself. And we even have default copy for you that you can use. And of course, you have those short tags again, so it populates it with the webinar specific information. So the next time you're on a webinar, you don't have to write 9 or 8 or different emails all over again. They're all saved in your account, and you're ready to go. We automatically record every session, and we send out the replay automatically for you if you'd like. We even have different settings for replays. So if you want to offer a replay instantly, you can have no replay. For example, I can just go down to this webinar and go to the webinar settings and show you that, hey, I can set the expiration date to 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, or no replay whatsoever. I have no expiration date, so I can do all that kind of stuff. And it does it automatically for you, sets up the page. Only the people that have registered to get access. It's up to me to be able to restrict how long that is. Let me go into the studio, which is where you actually run your webinar. So I'm gonna open that page right here. So this is my studio. This is the brand new Webinarninja 6 studio. What we wanna do here is, this is where a lot of things happen in Webinarninja. Like, this is when you run your webinar. So we wanna make sure it's super simple to use. And you don't need somebody else with you to run the webinar. So here at Webinarninja, everything is on one page. You can share your screen. You can upload slides directly into Webinarninja, so you can present right inside of Webinarninja without having to share screen. So for example, I can upload my slides here directly and then open them up and then hit select. Let me just move this over here. Okay, and here are my slides. But of course, I may want to swap. I can just double click and there are my slides. I can just easily navigate, and this preview here is only shown to me on the bottom here. As the host, the attendee would not see that, but this allows me to see what next slides are coming. I can actually skip slides if I want to, all that kind of stuff. So it's really, really easy to use. If I want to add a second screen, say for example, I want to insert a video during a webinar, I can do that. I can upload my own video from my computer, or I can select from my library ones that I've already uploaded, or let's say for example, a YouTube video. I uploaded this video already. This is like a trailer for one of our for Webinarninja 6, and I can actually add that video, and it will play right there inside of Webinarninja. And I can even change the layout at any time if I want to. So I just shut off that video. I could remove it any time. I can change the layout by going bento box. I can go ahead and go lower screen here. I can even at any time swap. So for example, I could just double click and swap. There we go, demo alert there. I can double screen and swap. So anytime I want to do that, and of course I can go full screen or change the layout at any time. Sorry about that, guys. Again, this is a live demo for our latest product, so we're still kind of making sure that everything's working. So here we go. So as you can see, I can change the layout at any time and do that. On the right is where we communicate with our audience. So for example, I have our chat. We have public and private chat. So for example, I have a private message here from one of my actual attendees, but I can switch back at any time, and we have questions, we have polls, all that kind of stuff. So I wanted to kind of give you a quick glimpse of the webinar studio. We have offers, we have handouts, we have ways to interact with the audience at any time. But I'd love to answer any questions that you have, but I wanted to kind of give you a glimpse of how easy it is to use Webinarninja.
Thank you very much, Omar. It actually seems like quite easy to get on board and to kind of start using it. Tell us a bit, how many users do you currently have?
So we have over 15,000 users to date, and a lot of our users come from different backgrounds. Some people are using Webinarninja because of COVID-19. Their karate studio is closed, so now they're doing their karate classes online with webinars. Some people are using Webinarninja because they want to be able to continue to do their online marketing and bring their people to their courses and to their programs. We even have people selling physical goods, like they have an e-commerce store and they sell on their webinars. And it's kind of like their own shopping network, their own kind of QVC to show people their products and services up close with their camera.
Have you seen maybe a shift for educational institutions starting to use the product, let's say more widely for their classes, for, I don't know, school or something like that?
Yeah, totally. We have a lot of institutions, educational institutions that use Webinarninja, not only K through 12, but also other educational institutions like certification programs. We have tax professionals that use Webinarninja to get certification. One of the things that Webinarninja does is it saves all the data for the attendees. So if they answered polls, their answers, their questions, all that kind of stuff. So it actually shows a record that they were there live. So it allows them to get that certification that they need.
You showed us now through the demo the ease of use for the presenter. How about the participant? How can you keep him engaged? How can you keep him paying attention to what's presented there, other than switching the screens?
Oh, totally. So first of all, one of the things that we love about Webinarninja is totally browser-based. There's nothing to download, no software to download. So this increases just people's ease to attend. But during the webinar, I highly recommend that you always, you got to make sure that you're engaging your audience. And what I like to do in my first minute is kind of set the tone. I just kind of say, as soon as I start the webinar, I just say, hey, introduce yourself. Let me know where you're tuning in from in this webinar. And also, let me know what would be a win for you today. I want to learn why they actually registered and why they here today on the webinar. Why? Because I actually want to deliver and make sure that I cover those areas. They might have questions, they might have pain points. I want to make sure during my webinar, I address those, either through my workshop or through the actual product. Actually show them, hey, this is how my software or my product solves your problems. And at the end of the webinar, when we wrap up, I always say, let me know, did you get your win today? Did you get a win in today's webinar? And this allows them to have a sense of confirmation that, yes, I did get a win and I did get a lot from it. One of the things I also recommend is what I learned in my teaching days, which is called input output. And it just basically means that every 10 minutes during your webinar, you should always just double check that people are comprehending what you're teaching. So one technique I like to do is, say, for example, I taught 3 points, like point number 1, 2, and 3. After I teach those 3 points, I say, okay, guys, which one of these 3 points are you going to implement first? You're going to do them all, but which one are you going to do first? Which one are you most excited about? This forces the people to think about what they just learned and make a choice and respond in the chat and make it a little bit more engaging.
Thank you very much. Those are actually good tips to take into consideration. Please tell us, how do you think this remote work environment will evolve, and what role do you see your company playing in it?
Well, we're a totally remote team at Webinarninja. Everybody works from home, actually, from day one, even before Corona. Most of us all work from home. And I think that this is this is kind of going to be the new normal. I think people are used to this now. We've been used to it for over 6 years at Webinar Ninja, but I think what people are going to learn is a lot of people think remote work is kind of like we have to do this, or maybe it saves time or saves money. But actually what it does, it puts ownership in the hands of your teammates. It allows them to understand that, you have a job to do, and how you get it done is up to you. It gives them autonomy. It gives them a chance to feel like, okay, I'm a part of this solution. I'm a part of the results we're trying to produce for our customers. And that is very powerful. And it's very hard to take that away from somebody once they have it. And it's a great retention tool for your teammates. So we have really good retention on our team. And what we love about that is that, people are not shopping around for jobs because they have that job satisfaction, because they feel like they're getting that sense of accomplishment. They're getting that sense of significance, that they're actually building something and they're given the keys to the castle, so to speak. And you can't get that everywhere. So it's really hard to kind of ask somebody to clock in and clock out at a time and all that kind of stuff and be back to the office. So I think it's a huge recruiting tool to give people that kind of autonomy.
Thank you very much, Omar, for being with us. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Current social changes have posed a big challenge, especially in the field of education. Faced with new technologies and new environments, both teachers and pupils need to adapt their process of learning. Now we have a tool specially designed for this by teachers themselves. Try out Webinar Ninja. Check out RemoteCon for more details on remote work tools. Thank you very much.